the second technical session. Our second resource person is Dr. Sudhakar Umale. Dr. Sudhakar Umale has received his PhD in material science from Visvaria National Institute of Technology. He has received his MA in machine design from SPCE Mumbai in August 2001. He has published 20 articles in international journals, 3 articles in national journals, and has attended 19 international conferences, 9 national conferences. His areas of research are diverse. His areas of research include IC engine, heat transfer, automobile engineering, cast iron, and biofuel. His total experience, I mean teaching experience, uh, his total teaching experience in engineering colleges is 34. So far, he has guided 40 ME MTech students in research, and Dr. Sudhakar is also guiding 3 PhD scholars. Dr. Sudhakar also attended 76 FDPs. 14 courses have been conducted and coordinated by him in FEC. He has so many faculty achievements and awards to his credit. The list is very long. He has won Best Technical Paper Award in 2015 by Indian Institute of Foundrymen. He has also won this award by SAE India Blue Award in 2017. Dr. Sudhakar Umale was also appointed as subject board expert in Board of Studies in Mechanical Engineering College of Amravati from February 2019. Well, Dr. Sudhakar Umale is currently working as head and associate professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. Dr. Sudhakar Umale, I welcome you formally to the second part of this technical session. Over to you,
sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good evening to all of you, dear participants, coordinator of this program, principal of Amar Singh College, Cluster University Srinagar, and Cape Group Pomerian Trust India. Welcome to today's lectures on research design. Shall I upload my PPTs?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Okay. So PPT is visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Why I have chosen this topic is that research design helps the researchers to make correct decision in each and every step of research project. It gives the idea of major and minor task of the given project. This design makes work effective and interesting at each step of the research process. It is also useful to decide the research objectives. Therefore, research design will help to complete a given task in given time. Research design directs the research work to get the best possible solution for the research problems. Sometimes all the resources may not be available. Then research design helps to complete all the tasks within limited resources in a better way. Main thing is that because of research design, we can provide accuracy to the experimental work. The results may be reliable. There may be consistency in writing work. To identify operating variables or parameters of the research work is possible when correct research design is followed. Now, before starting my lecture, I want to explain the meaning of research designs, concept of research design, importance of research design. Research design is the one of the very important parts of the research process. This is very important question. What should a researchers know about it? When you start your research, you are creating some of the questions. The first question is, what should a researcher know about it? Generally, it comes after the definition of the problem. Then researchers needs to understand how do you conduct the research. This is very important question. The researcher needs to understand how do you conduct the research. And next question is very important. Why is research design important? I will answer this question one by one. Then you can understand, because this topic is very difficult to understand, because before start your project, we must know the exact steps in the research designs, because research design gives the idea about advanced planning in such a way that project work may be conducted in minimum time at a lower cost. It also suggests the right method of the research. Framework research method introduces and describes the research theory that explains the research problem. And hence, what is exact meaning of research design? Research design is a methodological, well-organized procedure utilized by researcher or scientists to carry out scientific study. So this is the exact meaning of it. It refers to the framework research methods and techniques that are chosen by the researcher. So these are very important. What is meant by framework research methods, and what are the techniques that are used in your research, and how these techniques are selected by the researchers. And hence, I can define very in simple way. Design is a combination of conceptual framework, technique of data collections, and method of analysis that collectively provides the basis for the scientific study. The research design is a comprehensive master plan of the research study to be undertaken, giving a general statement of the method to be used. This is very important. What is your general statement of the methods? We'll discuss how to prepare the general methods. The next is the function of the research design is to ensure that requisite data in accordance with the problem at hand is collected accurately and economically. This is very important. During your research work, you have to arrange all these requisite data so that it gives the correct data, accurate data, and it should be economical. So you must understand what are the applications of research design. All the research design methods can be applied in special areas like social attitudes, decision making, administration, science and arts, cultural values, policies, economics, and education, and so on. So education means it is technical education and any other educations. We can apply these research designs. Selection of research design is again very important. Why we need a selection? I will answer it. Before that, during reading this slide, you have to prepare your answers. I have given some of the questions to you. How to think about what design you should use. Just to prepare it, later on I will discuss what are the essential features of the research design, what are the philosophical assumptions in examining research and using theories, ethical issues related to data collection and reporting research findings. And hence, this selection of research design is based on the nature of research problem or issues. This is very important. What is your research problem or issues? And according to that, you are selecting your research design. Selection of research design mainly depends on plans of research, procedure of research, decision made on the basis of data collection and analysis. You must follow the question here. If you are ready, we will discuss later on how do you think about what you design you should use. And next question is, what are the essential features of research design? I want to focus on features of research design because it is very essential. There are mainly 5 features of research design. If research design gives the same result when some tools are used in the same sample, then such research design will be considered a reliable research design. Second is that every research method must be accurate and objective. Validity is concerned with the integrity of the conclusions, the nature and the objectives of the problem to be studied, the availability of time and money for the research work. So this is very important, that what is the availability of time, whether 3 years, 5 years or that, and what are the amounts required to complete this research work. And I want to explain the third question, what are the philosophical assumptions in examining research and using theories. The philosophical assumptions inform our choice of theories that guide our research. Philosophy means the use of abstract ideas and beliefs that inform our research. Ethical issues are very important. I will not explain because I have a very short time. So you know what is ethical issues used in during data collections and reporting research findings. Next, I will come to the concept of research design. You must understand first exactly what is the concept. It is the general plan of how you will go about your research. Just I am repeating again. Concept of research design is the general plan of how you will go about your research. This is very important. What is you what is your path? What is your planning? And hence it is also called as carefully arranged scheme. Carefully arranged schemes. Otherwise, you cannot complete your research if you are not arranged your path, your plan in proper way. Next is research problem must be understood better way without any ambiguities. When you explain each and everything, your problems, and there should not be any ambiguities in the research work. Researcher must understand the factor responsible for the development of his research work. So he must understand what are the factors responsible for my research work. You have to note down that is the main concept of research design. The research must also see that the necessity data are available. The suitability of the time period must also be examined. So we have some of the steps we are following during research designs. There are so many steps, but I will not explain each and every steps. I have entered here some of the important steps during research designs. First step is researchers need to consider before they develop their plans for research. Discussion on various sections of plan statement of the problem in general way, understanding the nature of the problem, surveying the available literature, developing the ideas through discussions, research problem change into working conditions. This is the last step. Suppose you have research problem, then how it is converted into working condition. Then when it comes to working condition, definitely you are able to complete your research work. Before start of your research work, you have to find out objectives of research design. Just I want to explain here your research objectives, research problems, that is totally different here. So this is the objectives of research design before you start your research problems. And you must understand first, what do you mean by research? When you understand the meaning of research, then definitely you will get the essence of research design. Research is inquiry in the search for knowledge and understanding. So this is very important. I am repeating again. Research is inquiry in the search for knowledge and understanding. Before start of your research, you must have the knowledge of a particular subject, understanding of a particular subject, and hence, if you are doing qualitative research, it is very important. You must have the qualitative research approach that allows the researchers to become innovative and can work within his design framework. Topics in this approach may also be of personal interest of the researcher. This is very important. How you design anything, and when you select any research topics of your interest is very important. And hence, what is exactly the objective of research design that I want to explain. There are 5 main objectives to gain background of information. This is very important. What is your research problem and what you want, that is to gain background information. This is the first objectives. To develop hypothesis. This is second objective of research design. What is exactly hypothesis? I want to explain in one sentence. Hypothesis is one of the most important part of the research. Third objective is to measure the state of variable of interest. This is very important question during objectives, how to frame a hypothesis. Because this is not my topic of explaining hypothesis. I will just cover some of the importance of hypothesis. I will not cover all explanation regarding hypothesis. How to frame a hypothesis, this is the main question. How to check relationship between 2 or more variables. So in research work, you are using so many variables, dependent variables, dependent and independent variables, and other variables. During your research work, we have to find the objectives so that you can make a relation of these 2 independent and dependent variables. We'll discuss later on. So how do you make the relationship between the independent or dependent variables or any other variables? Once you understand objectives of a research variable, you go to the next topic, that is the selection of research design. So before start of your research problems, you go to the correct way of research design, and hence we have to select the a particular research design area. That is, whether you are selecting quantitative design, whether you are selecting qualitative design, or whether you are selecting mixed method design, means both. We are using both at a time, quantitative design as well as qualitative design. Then it is called as mixed method designs. So we'll discuss later on one by one in next slides. And hence, how these 3 research design methods may be considered. All above 3 requires 3 important elements. Without that, we cannot start your selections. One is philosophical assumptions. Already I have explained philosophical assumptions. Strategies of inquiry. What is exactly inquiry? Inquiry is a research. with knowledge and understanding. So what strategies you are making during your research work, you have to decide first. Then specific research methods, you have to select some of the specific research methods to find out accurate research design method. After that, we have to already I have explained what is exactly strategy. Strategy is a plan or a way of gaining your results, and during that period you have to consider some ethical considerations and how to write strategies. It is one of the issues, and hence I want to clear that issues during writing of your strategies. Overall outline of the topics to be included in the proposal before you begin writing. So this is very important. Before you start your writing your research problems, your overall outline of the topics must be decided. Develop a habit of writing. This is very important. Many of the researchers don't have the habit of writing. Before start of your research, every small thing you have to write, and when research is completed and you combine all the your writing, and you'll get the idea of how to write the research work. And second is that grammar ideas. So whether you are using past tense, future tense, or any other tense, or present tense also, how to use present tense, how to use past tense, how to use future tense, so that gives the idea in such a way that improves writing. And hence whenever you want to improve your research writing, you must have these two, habit of writing and grammar ideas. It is important to properly introduce a research study. How to introduce your research study, in what way, it is very important. And later on you are able to identify the research problems. So when you get the research problem, then your research may be started. Otherwise research may not be started. And hence already I have explained that inquiry is very important. Without inquiry we cannot complete your research. And hence what type of inquiries we require, how to select inquiries. There are three methods of inquiry selections, that is qualitative strategies, quantitative strategies, mixed method strategies. So these are the research, like earlier I have explained, that is a design methods: qualitative design research, quantitative design research, mixed method design research. And I will explain one by one later on, and it is very important. And I want to explain some of the issues on qualitative, quantitative, mixed method strategies. Qualitative research comes in qualitative strategies. It relies on data obtained by the researcher from first-hand observations. How to collect these strategies? What is your strategies to collect quantitative, qualitative research? It is very important. Just I want to explain some of the strategies methods. First-hand observations, that is the first. Interviews, questionaries. On what is the questionary basis on which participants write descriptively? Focus groups, participants' observations, recordings made in natural settings, document selections, artifacts. And hence qualitative research methods have been used in sociology, political science, philosophy, psychology, social work, and educational research. When you come to the quantitative strategies, what we want exactly? We want quantitative research methods which emphasize objective measurements and the statistical, mathematical, or numerical analysis of data collected through polls, questionaries, and surveys, or by manipulating pre-existing statistical data using computational techniques. And hence quantitative research focuses on gathering numerical data, generalizing in across groups of people, or to explain particular phenomena. The final written report has a set structure consisting of introduction, literature and theory, methods, results, and discussion. Mixed method is the last method of strategy. I will call here, that is a mixed research method. It is defined as the research in which the inquirer or investigator collects and analyzes data, integrates the findings, and draws inferences using both qualitative and quantitative approaches or methods in a single study or program of study. Once you get all this strategy, then you must understand what is exactly strategy of inquiry. This is very important in research design. Strategies of inquiry provide specific direction for procedures in a research design. We require the specific directions to complete this. It helps you. Hence, it is called as approaches of inquiry or research methodology. So, many researchers don't know the difference between research design and research methodologies. These are totally different, and hence, what is exactly research methodology? It comes after research design, and it is called as approach of inquiry. So, in simple way, many researchers are using this word research methodology. It is nothing but approaches of inquiry. All programs is born of inquiry, and inquiry leads to investigations. So, what do you mean by investigation in your research? When you have some inquiry in your mind, and the progress starts from that inquiry, and this inquiry leads to investigation, then you are able to investigate your research problems, your research methods, your research instrumentations, and your research tables also. Later on, you go to the quantitative uh, research design. It is simply called as experimental designs or surveys. Already I have explained in detail earlier slides. Quantitative research strategy, mixed method strategies, and hence later on you are able to review your literature. During review the literature, you have some specific steps. That steps can be found. What are the different steps of review of literature? One is explore the literature using the steps. So exploring the literature is very important, because if you explore the literature, then definitely you will get the problem solutions. Second is setting a priority for reviewing the literatures. We are referring so many papers, so many publications, and we are making some decisions, and we are making some priority which is best for your research. After that, prepare a route map of your studies to relate to your topic. So hence we have the different literatures mapping. We are finding the correct route map of your studies, and that is matching your topic. Fourth is write a good abstract. Writing a good abstract is one of the research designs. If you write a good abstract, definitely you get the ideas, because abstract is very small, and it contains so many things, complete idea of your research work. Employ your skills that you learned before your study of topic. So this is very important. You must have a proper skills, how you learn all these literatures, how you implement all the literatures, and how do you employ your research problems for completion of research. Identify key terms of your research. Already in previous lecture, sir has explained how to identify key terms. This is very important. Let us say in one of the studies there is a word, that is temperature. Every time temperature or microstructure or specification. These are the keywords for your research. Means keywords is very related to your research problems. Compile all literatures, write literature review of research. This is the steps after literature reviewing, and hence later on, what is exactly the research design methods. So in that you are developing theories of your research. This is very important. How to develop the theories of your research. When you prepare quantitative research, prepare proposed explanation for the relationship among variables. This is very important. If your research is quantitative, then you have to prepare the explanation for the relationship among the variables. When you prepare qualitative research, prepare a check plan of qualitative data that you have generated. When you have used mixed method studies, then researchers employ theories in many ways, including those associated with quantitative and qualitative approaches. After that, once you get all these three, you come to the very important research design steps. That is, what are the research questions and what are the hypotheses. I will not cover this because earlier speakers explained all these things in detail. So, what is important? The research question, set of research questions.
Hello, good evening. I have a question basically. I don't know is this
Hello.
little
Id-
other,
Idris,
can
Idris,
say.
kindly mute your mic. Idris?
So, any problem? Any issue?
No, no, sir. Kindly continue.
Okay,
I
okay.
guess you asking question in the middle of the session. You know, when Dr.
Okay,
Sudhakar Male will finish, only then you will be able to pose the question. So till then, listen
okay,
to him patiently. Okay, sir. Please continue.
okay, no issue. Uh, you must know the relationship between research question and hypothesis. So, this is very important issue that how to relate research questions and hypothesis. This is needed during writing very carefully. So I want to explain the meaning of hypothesis. It is a tentative statement. It is not complete statement about the possible relationship between two or more variables. So generally, we are following these research methods: questions, data collections, data analysis, interpretations, write up, and validations. So last is the validations. So we are following what is exactly this method of research. The purpose of research should be clearly defined and planned. Then you have the research methods. The validity and reliability of the research should be checked very carefully. The limitation of the research must be mentioned because we are not able to complete research. Then we have time limit. Therefore, during that period, we must have the limitation of the research, and you have to mention during writing your work. And hence, it is very important criteria for selecting research design. We have some of the question for selection of criteria. What is the selection criteria and processes for best design? Because we are trying for best design, and before for that we have to select the selection criteria and processes. What are the criteria of your research? What are the processes of your research? The purpose of research is to discover answer to questions through the application of scientific procedures. The purpose of research should be clearly defined. This is very important. The purpose of the research should be clearly defined. If the purpose of research is not clearly defined, then the research planning is not getting exactly. Ethical issues, your work must be systematic. Your research design must be logical. It must not be unbiased. So, by using research design, how to get idea about research problem, and hence you must have the basic characteristics of research problems. There are three characteristics: reflecting on important issues
Uh,
or
Good evening,
need.
sir. I have a question, sir. Please, sorry for interruption here. I'm not getting what is exactly research design. Sir, if you comment on this.
So what is exactly research design? Research design is your pre-plan work. Yes, before your research, you are planning. This is the method. Just I am. That is, if you observe that, what is the basic difference between research methodology and research design? These are totally different. So research design require for planning and to get direction of your work. So what topic is required?
We can put it like that. Research design means pre-planning. Okay.
Planning, yes, yes. This is a planning
Right.
before your start, before literature survey.
Yeah.
Literature survey. Before literature survey, we have some research design route. So we are finding the research problems in such a way that so we get the direction of research, and then later on we start your research problems. Till now, we have the research design processes. And otherwise for direction you will not get proper that's why many researchers not getting their research solutions for a particular time, for 3 years or 5 years. They take more time for completion of this. So for completion of your work you must have the proper research design, means that is a plan, carefully planned, that is arranged plan. So this arranged plan we require, and hence we require some procedure, whether it is quantitative, whether it is qualitative, whether it is mixed type of research work. Suppose you select experimentation. So experimentation is one of the research design, like that. You got it? You have to find out what method you are selecting. So that is the research designs. So can I go further?
Yes, fine. Thank you very much.
Okay. So this is very for research design, how you find the research problem, and to get the correct research problems, you have to observe some basic characteristics reflecting on important issues or needs. And
Kamlesh is requested to mute his mic. Kamlesh, please mute your mic.
Okay. Shall I proceed? Okay. Okay. This is very important. Many researchers they don't get about important issues or needs.
Please mute your mic.
Okay. So I will explain for these first characteristics reflecting on important issues or needs. Many researchers do not know what are the important issues or needs in their research work, and hence that should be reflected in proper way before you start it. Second is being manageable and relevant. So you select the research problem in such a way that problems, that research work must be manageable within the period, and that research may be relevant to the topics. And what is third characteristic? That is suggesting testable and meaningful hypothesis. Testable means so that particular hypothesis must be tested to get the proper result or conclusions. And when you select any hypothesis, that hypothesis must have some meaning. Research problems may range from simple to complex. So if you take a very complex problems initially, then you are not getting the accurate solutions. How to start research design? Research design must be, you take simple problem first, then and you are increasing that simple problems to very complex problems. And everything depends on range of variables.
Hello. Kamlesh is requested to mute his mic. Kamlesh, kindly mute your mic.
Please remove this person.
Kamlesh is requested to mute his mic. Okay, he's done it.
Shall I start? Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. So research problems may range from simple to complex. So particularly this is a very bad things, particularly when you start research design with a complex research problem. So definitely you may stuck up somewhere, and it takes times, and hence you make your research design in simple way. that means in some topics, in different many topics, and definitely you get the research solutions. Everything depends on a range of variables. So we have so many different variables, and hence if you have 4 variables, 5 variables, 10 variables, like that, and that variables gives the idea about your research problems. Then we have to relate that all variables in proper sequences methodologically, during mathematical models or any softwares or experimentation way. So you are relating all these variables. So why we need a research design? So somebody has asked me this question. Then you understand why there is a need for research design. So I will answer that need for research design. A research design helps the researcher to make correct decision in each and every step of the study. Because if there is a wrong decision during solving the problems, and you are not able, or you are not able to complete your study, and hence you take the simple breakup of your research, and you are solving by making a correct decision. So that is a research designs, and this is a step. So second is why we need research design, because it helps to identify the research study effective and interesting by providing minute details at each step of the research process. So when you want your research work very effective, then you must have a very proper research design, and you are making that research very interesting for you, so that you can complete. Otherwise you are making in steps that research, and definitely a research process can be completed. It facilitates the smooth sailing of the various research operations. It gives the idea. Suppose I have some research operations or research treatments, you can say. So that research treatments can research operations can be completed in appropriate directions. It makes project reliable. So this is very important, how to make your project reliable. So if you have a very clear research design, then your project is very reliable and efficient as possible to get maximum information with minimum expenditure of effort, time and money. These three things are very important, because your efforts are very important. If your time is very important, your money is very important, and hence if you are controlling your effort, time and money, then you have to design your research. Because of research design, researcher will receive better economical, attractive ideas about his or her research project. So somebody has asked me, so what is the reason of selecting research design? Because you'll get better way. You can save your time, economical and attractive ideas you'll get. We need a research design or a plan in advance of data collection and analysis for your research projects. So if you don't have any idea about data collection, then you have to advance planning for collection, how to collect it, from where it is collected, from whom it is collected, and how it is analyzed. So these are the research designs. The design helps the researchers to organize his ideas in a form whereby it will be possible for him to look for flaws and inadequacies. So whatever may be the flaws available in your research or inadequacies in the research, so your research may not go further. So that's why we require the research designs. So what are the essence of research designs? So these are the 4 important essence of research design. First is selection of research approach. I will discuss later on research, what is exactly research approach, how to select it, design of sampling plan, design of experiments, design of questionaries. So we'll discuss one by one. What is the selection of research approach? Let us say your research is on science, whether your research is in arts, whether your research in technical work, then that is the approach of research. then you have to select your approach. What is my research approach? And you have to define your research approach in proper way. Research approach is nothing but the plans and the procedure for research, and it is very essential, and hence you are selecting it. Research approach gives detailed methods of data collection, analysis, and interpretations, and hence research must go through procedure of inquiry. It is called, shortly called as research designs, specific research methods of data collection, analysis, and interpretations. So for collecting data collection and analyzing and interpretations, we have so many research methods in the systems. You have to select any one of the specific research methods, then you'll get a idea. Otherwise you will get confusion which specific method is better for your experimentations. So you have to concentrate on your research problem or issues through research approach. This is very important. Research approaches are of two types. One is exploratory approach, second is conclusive approach. And hence, what is your approach? You think first, whether it is my exploratory approach or conclusive approach. And hence, research approach is based on requirements of study. That is, what type of study to be conducted. So you have to decide what type of study you have and in what way you are studying it. So that is actually research approaches. So we'll discuss what do you mean by exploratory approach and conclusive approach. So this is very important. That is a design of sampling plan. I want to explain this design of sampling plan. Sampling, you must understand what is the meaning of sampling plan. It is the mechanism by which the sampling units of project work are selected. So we have so many plans in your project, and you have to select any mechanism. So I want to explain what is meant by mechanism of sampling plans. Sampling plan is a detailed outline of which measurements will be taken at what times. So this is one of the methods. So I will repeat it. Sampling plan is a detailed outline of which measurements will be taken at what time. So this is very important. On which material, in what manner, and by whom. Okay, there are four factors. How you measure it, at what time you are measuring it, on which material you are measuring it, and what is your manner of measuring it, and who is measuring it. So these are the way of sampling plan. Sampling plans should be designed in such a way that the resulting data will contain a respective a sample of the parameters of interest and allow for questions. This is very important. We have to collect representative sample of the parameters of interest. So we are collecting some of the samples for your project and allow for all questions. So whatever questions you have selected earlier, then according to the sampling plan, you have to match that questionnaires with sampling plan. And sampling plan is very important according to the questionnaires. And what is the importance of this sampling plan? It is overall approach of maximizing the quality at a minimum cost. Okay, so always we require the quality project, and hence it helps to maximize the quality within a limited cost. And any history of inspections that have been performed. So history of inspections is very important. So you are inspecting your literatures and you are preparing sampling plans, and hence what sampling plans you are performing in your research. Before sampling plan is carried out, the quality levels need to be determined. This is very important. Before sampling plan is carried out, the quality levels need to be determined. This is very important for your project. Then design of experiments. So you heard about this so many times. What is meant by design of experiments? It is the study of different response variables. Each variable may be affected by many factors. A suitable experiment to be designed to test the effect of these factors. You are doing so many testing. When you are using so many parameters, you are testing each parameters, and we are getting different experimentations. Means it is the set of experimentations. I want to explain in detail what is the exactly design of experiments in research designs. Design of experiments is shortly called as a DOE. It is a systematic approach to understanding how process and product parameters affect a response variable such as processability, physical properties, or product performance. It is a tool similar to any other tool, any other device or procedure that makes a job easier. Unlike quality, mechanical, or process tools, design of experiment is mathematical tool used to define the importance of specific processing and product variables and how to control them to optimize the system performance while maximizing properties. So this is very important because you are so many variables, we have so many properties, and uh, because of design of experiments, you are collecting the data of all. Now, design of questionary, it is again very important. So you have so many questions. The questionaries is required for your research work. You are making so many questions through interviews or surveys. Then you have to prepare the plan for design of questionaries, and hence to prepare questionary we require two types of data. One is called as primary data and second is called as secondary data. So what is exactly primary data? The data is collected for the first time by direct observation. So this is the primary data. Secondary data, the data which is obtained from existing records or publications. Suppose you are referring your publications, your different journals, and you are taking that data in your research, then it is called as secondary data. I want to explain some of the importance of secondary data. No survey can achieve success without well distinguished questionnaires. Unfortunately, a questionary design has no theoretical base to guide a marketing. Suppose you are using this data in marketing research. Marketing researcher in developing flawless questionnaires, all the researchers has to guide him or her is a lengthy list of do's and don'ts born out of the experience of other researchers, past and present. Hence, questionary design is more an art than a science. This is very important. How to prepare questionnaires? It is like art. It is not like a science. The design of questionary will depend on whether the researcher wishes to collect exploratory informations, that is also called as qualitative information, for the purpose of a better understanding or the generation of hypotheses on your particular subject, or quantitative informations. Suppose your research is on quantitative informations, you are collecting your data on particular specific hypothesis, you are testing that hypothesis, and that data may be generated from the literatures. So this question arises, what is secondary data analysis? So this second data you are collecting and you are doing the analysis. Secondary data, always the data that are collected by some researcher in the past. This is very important. Then that data you are using in your research and you are analyzing that data for your research. This past data will use by the research for his research. Researchers will try to develop his own research problems from secondary data. The second method is collecting data from the surveys, gathered informations. Types of research designs, already I have explained: exploratory research, descriptive research, casual research. These are the three types of particular research designs. So I will introduce in short exploratory research. What is exactly is exploratory research? Something will explore to find out something. So you are exploring your knowledge to get something. That is one of the way of define it, exploratory research. So what is a descriptive research? In descriptive research, you will describe something. You are describing something. In what way? We will discuss. You may describe the characteristics, describe the features of your research. These are two very important. How to describe the characteristics, to describe the feature of the research. Descriptive research is undertaken, as the name suggests, you can understand, to describe answers to the questions of who, what, where, when, and how. And hence, always you ask these questions yourself. Hence, you are able to create 5 questions in everywhere. Whenever there is a descriptive research, you ask this question by yourself. Who is doing? What is the plan or anything? Just you ask your this. Where is? When does? How does? So if you are able to complete all these 5 questions, then definitely your research design is complete. Casual research is very important. Casual research, in this research, you can understand the cause and effect. So this is why it is called as casual research. There are 2 terms that you have to handle in whole project. That is, what is your cause? What is the effect of the cause? So we'll concentrate on cause and effect, understanding of cause, understanding of effect in well manner. Whenever there is a cause, there is an effect. So this is very important. So we'll discuss about this. Whenever there is a cause, there is an effect. Hence, we can say that this research is cause and effect relationship. Experimentation is also called as research designs. The second name of experimentation design is called as casual research. Hence, in research, there is a cause and effect relationship. Suppose we are using any experimentation. Let us say you are testing materials science. Suppose you are testing cast iron or steel or any type of chemical. Then when you take any action on that chemical or material, definitely there is a response, and that response is called as effect. And you are using that relations, you are making the relation. That is one of the research. But descriptive and casual research are called as conclusive research designs. So this is very important. So what do you mean by conclusive research? You will get definitely conclusions. In exploratory is we are not getting the conclusions. Why it is conclusive? Because they give some conclusions after completion of the your project. The exploratory research design is also called as non-conclusive research design because there is no conclusion. In this, researcher will not get any kind of results because such types of research are selected to learn something. So that is not experimentation. So we are doing something for learning new things, and that is called, in short, exploratory research designs. Because of time limit, I will not able to explain case studies on such type of research designs. In short, I want to explain in one sentence. It is usually conducted at the outset of the research projects. Whenever a researcher is trying to understand a research process or a research problem, then research starts with exploratory. Researchers explore their knowledge by talking to different people, experts, by reading literature and any other sources. They will collect more and more informations about their research projects. Hence, exploratory research is usually conducted at the outset of research projects when researchers does not know about the research problems. This is a very important question in research design. What are the uses of exploratory research? When you are able to answer it, then you are in right path. When we do not know any information of the given condition, then exploratory research helps to understand the background of informations, and they will collect this background information by this research. So to collect the background of information, then you are using exploratory research methods. The exploratory research helps in defining the terms of variables that you are using in the research. Once you understand the problem, next step is to develop the hypothesis. Hypotheses can be prepared on the basis of the knowledge that researchers have acquired earlier. After hypothesis, establish your research priorities. After gaining knowledge through the literature survey and discussion with the different people and experts, you have to decide what should be performed first and what should I do the next. So this is very important. Do not confuse, because at this stage you have prepared the research design completely. When you do the research design completely, means there is no confusion, because this research design give the idea of what I do first and what I do next, and hence exploratory research helps you to develop hypotheses. But remember, exploratory research always starts with research questions. So before that, you have to prepare the research questions. Already I have explained you. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Thank you, organizing committee. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, Dr. Sudhakar Male. Thank you so much for such an exhaustive lecture. Do we have any questions? Participants are requested to pose a question if they have
Yes,
any.
ma'am. I have one question, please.
Kindly go ahead.
Ma'am, I want to know exactly what is research gap. I have a question related to research gap.
So research gap is totally different, because before research gap, we do the research design. What is exactly, this is a planning of your area. Okay, so research gap comes in the your project problem or problem issues, hypothesis definitions. So when you refer according to the research design use the planning, how to refer the literature survey, how to do the research survey, how to read the literatures. Whenever you refer any literatures, whenever there is a problem in the research or literature, and you are able to search that problem, because you are having that idea, and you are able to solve that problem, and that is a research gap actually. Suppose any problem, let us say in experimentation, if you want to do, there is a if what is your area, sir, so that I can explain in proper way.
And so, actually, I'm from literature background. I am working on psychoanalysis.
Okay, you are from mechanical, you are from engineering side, or it is education?
No, I'm English literature.
Real estate?
No, he's from English literature.
Okay.
Hello,
He's
sir.
from literary background.
आवाज नहीं गई. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes.
Sir, I want to
Humanities.
make a clarification regarding a research question and a hypothesis.
Research questions and hypotheses are
And
very
all
similar.
the,
Hello.
huh? Hello,
So
sir.
hypothesis is a statement before making your objectives of your research.
What is the difference between hypothesis and research question?
Research questions are that is, you are finding, let us say you have some literature surveys, and you are getting some issues in that research. Then you are making some list of questions, that is the questionaries, and from that questionaries you are making own your questions, and you are solving that question, that questions are hypotheses. So
Any other question?
there is little difference between hypothesis and, so hypotheses are your own questions, and from that own
Both
questions you are making
are
your
both
objectives of the research.
compulsory? Is
No, it is not.
hypothesis, it is
If
both are compulsory in research?
if you have a complete hypothesis in your mind, then questionaries are not needed, because questionary helps to find out the hypothesis. So what is important is that you must have the objectives of your research. When you have a perfect objectives from your research problems issues, so research problem issues may be called as hypothesis, and that you are making statements, and from that statements it is called as a problem statements, and from the problem statements you are making your own way of finding, that is objectives. So these are the steps, not much difference from questionaries. Questionaries having lot of list. From the questionaries you are making your own hypothesis. So uh, previously that hypothesis may not be true, but it is partially true by the experimentations and by searching correct literatures and doing some work on it. Definitely that hypothesis is converted into true statements. Then you can say the your research is complete.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
I hope the question is answered, Mr. O.P. Sharma. Okay, do we have any other questions?
No, thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much.
I assume we don't have any questions from the participants. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sudhakar Umale. Thanks for providing us with the lucid framework which can help
So
researchers in
during starting I have given this idea that research design is very typical to understand. It is very difficult to understand because this is a new term, and it is nothing but the planning. So many students are not doing planning of your research before start of literature survey. So what area, what is the route map, and whether it is qualitative, whether it is quantitative, or whether it is mixed type of research. So you first decide it, whether it is actual or whether it is just informative. So that is the research designs. Once you have a complete idea, then you go to the your research methodology. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, thank you for providing us with the lucid framework which can help a researcher in data collection and methods of analyzing the data in an economical way. So, dear researchers, dear students, dear participants, involving in research does not mean just to plunge into your project, okay, without having any idea to where you are heading. It's rather the research design, which, according to our learned speaker, Dr. Sudhakar Umale, will help us to have a proper roadmap. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was an honor to listen to you.